Hi, I'm Father Ruben. Welcome back and thank you for joining me today. I want to talk to you about something called the Beatitudes. Jesus gave 4 long talks, something like the sermons or homilies you hear your priest or deacon saying at Mass on Sundays, right after the Gospel is read. By the way, we stand at Mass when the Gospel is being read because we are hearing the actual words that Jesus said 2,000 years ago. Because they are Jesus's actual words, everyone stands to show respect to Jesus's teachings. As I was saying, this talk Jesus gave is called the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus starts his sermon with the 8 Beatitudes. The word beatitude means blessings or to be blessed. Each of the 8 Beatitudes begins with the word blessed, which is why they are called the Beatitudes. So today let's talk about the first 4 Beatitudes. In the first Beatitude, Jesus says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Jesus is telling us that those people who love Jesus, but don't know his teachings very well, are spiritually poor. They don't know much about Jesus, but want to know more, because they love him and want to know more. Jesus is telling them the more they learn that their reward will be joining him in heaven forever. In the second Beatitude, Jesus says, "Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted." Jesus is saying that anyone who is sad because someone they know and love is really sick, or someone they love has died, or maybe they are sad because of how badly they see how someone is being treated. Jesus is saying come to him and pray for those people and the things they feel badly about, and he will always help them to feel better. In the third Beatitude, Jesus says, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land." Jesus is saying the meek are people who are humble, patient, and kind to others, even people they don't know very well. Someone who is meek never wants to yell and argue with other people. If something happens that is upsetting between 2 people, the meek person will not want to argue or fight with the other person. The meek person will be like Jesus and try to find a way to nicely make things work so everyone is happy. In the fourth Beatitude, Jesus says, "Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied." Jesus is saying that the people who work to practice the virtue of justice will be satisfied. You may remember learning about the virtue of justice last week with Sister Mary Elizabeth. Sister said that practicing the virtue of justice means that you are always treating other people fairly. Also, when I talked about the 10 Commandments, I taught you that Jesus said one of the greatest commandments was to love and treat others as you want them to treat you. Jesus is saying if those are things that we want as much as we want food and water, he promises to make sure we are satisfied. As you can see, Jesus has a way of teaching us big lessons with very few words. I also pray that you are starting to see how Jesus has tied everything together. Jesus is trying to teach us that if we work hard to live by his teachings, to practice and live by the cardinal virtues, we will please him, we will become and behave more like him, and we will glorify God our Heavenly Father, because Jesus came to show us how to glorify his Father. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to remind you that if you have questions for me, you can send them to me. Look in the description to learn how to send your questions. I promise to respond by email, or maybe I will even give a talk about one of the great questions you send me. Please join me next Friday when we talk about the remaining Beatitudes. Until we meet again, may the peace of Christ be with you, today and always.